Hello. Welcome back, everyone. Hi, I'm Valgan. I do VR chat content creation for VR chat worlds, prefabs for things. I do standalone development, most recently things on the Basis SDK framework, which is a really awesome tool for building your own social VR like experiences. And I basically did all the UI for that recently, which means I've worked on nothing but UI this year. There's been that, there was World UI, and all the other things that I've done this year have been very UI heavy. And because of that, I will take a break from working on UI for this stream to, well, work on UI. I'll be working on a music player today, which is a prefab thing that is one of my more popular ones, actually, as a music player that I have. It's a very basic one that just lets you have a list of songs you go through and possibly shuffle. And today we're going to be working on a bit more complicated system of more of like what you'd expect from something like Windows Media Player or like a YouTube music thing or something like that. So we're gonna, I say all that, we're gonna keep it generally pretty simple. It's largely just going to be a list of some stuff. I already have some data set up. I have some UI set up, but nothing's really plugged together. So we're gonna walk through everything and just kind of put all the pieces together and build it all up. So this is what I currently have. As you can tell, it is awful. Because it is just a bunch of colors to indicate sections are different from each other. So let's go ahead and start by making it something slightly more tolerable. Let's go through and make all these sections something distinct. We don't need the grid visible right now. We can go ahead and drop that. This section is bright and red. I do not want that. There we go. This will make it tolerable for now. There'll be some things we'll have to fiddle with and figure out. But let's go through what I have right now. I have two things here: the music app script, which is an Udon behavior, and the music app helper, which is, well, where all of the actual work goes. So this has a list of songs and a list of song lists. Song lists are either playlists or albums. And if I click on one of these, you'll see we have a type, which is this drop down here for album or playlist. The name of the playlist or album, the name of the creator of the playlist or album. So if this was a band album, you'd put, like, I don't know, Johnny Cash here or something, and a thumbnail for it. Then you put in all the songs that you want. Now, a song is its own asset as well. So if we go over here and click on this, this is a song asset, which has can be either a audio file or a URL. For this one, this is just dating start from Undertale. So I just have the audio file for this here. You can also set the release date down here. I haven't done this for any of them for now because, well, frankly, I'm lazy. And I'm not entirely sure that it's, like, super useful, so I might end up just dropping it in the future. But there's also a thumbnail here. Hello, welcome. As I mentioned, we're doing some, like a little music player today. Just kind of like a little tool for selecting songs and playing them. Now, what's mostly hidden here is the fact that all of this stuff gets pumped over to the Udon behavior into massive arrays. Yippee, look at all of them. This is where all the real data is. Right now, it all tests things by me hitting a numpad and it playing it. Now, One thing that I've noticed in the past, I think it was maybe 4 years ago when I worked on my last one on stream, people hate watching streams where there's random music and sound effects that keep playing as I try to fix audio things. So we're just going to use audio clips for testing and mute it. So we won't actually be hearing any of the music play because, one, I'd be playing a bunch of random copyrighted music, and two, it's just really annoying for people for audio to keep restarting over and over again. So for these tests, I'm going to go up here in Unity, after the compile button goes away, and press mute. So with this thing up here pressed, you will not hear any of the sounds of any of this. I'm curious actually. If I just go ahead and go to all of the songs that I have. Thank you for sparing your... Yes. If I go to all of these and set them to be file, it shouldn't play anything for some of them. Actually, I think I'll just go ahead and set all of them to be this dating start on the file. That way I don't overwrite a bunch of the data for the other things, so we have different names, different artists, and stuff like that. But we have all of the other stuff. So that should still let us do all the lists and everything. Alright, so the general idea is that this system is going to be built out of a bunch of individual components for things. Primarily, the music app is the root thing that will probably control most of it. And is largely going to handle when a song is playing, what index of song is playing, and stuff like that. But we're going to have everything else be observing and telling it to do things. I don't think the music app should tell... Well, maybe it should do like a on-complete, like on-song complete check. But yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. But it will be interesting, to say the least. Okay, so let's start out by, of course, getting any of these controls working. So, first of all, they all need to be buttons, pretty much. So these will go from images to being buttons, where navigation, none. And this will be a song controller. We will have a script for that. Somewhere. We should just have a scripts folder. Song controller. Alright, let's grab the namespace I was using here, which is of course just Falcon.music app for now. I don't have a good fancy name for this one yet, which is honestly a bit of a strange thing for me. Usually I start a project after coming up with a cool name for a project. It's just really how you shouldn't to do things, but oh well. Alright, so let's look at our system here. We have a few buttons. We have previous, well, we have favorite, which we probably just won't implement right now. Previous, play, next, repeat, which is a 4 states toggle where it's off, repeat, repeat one, and shuffle. And this button over here will just toggle on and off the volume slider. So I'm actually going to take a quick screenshot of this with the snipping tool and put that on my right monitor and just reference things in here. All right, so let's do some button binding. So we'll do public void use track. Should I use the term track instead of song? That might make more sense. I'll do that for now. Public void next track. And public void change repeat. And public void show volume. Yeah, show volume. That'll work good. Okay, if we're going to be changing the state of the repeat system, we need an enum for the states, which I think we can actually do over here. So public enum playback state. The regular repeat 1 and shuffle. I guess repeat all is the right term for that. So we'll serialize the field for a private playback state. My coloration and autofill appears to have just suddenly randomly broke. Let's click back in. Wow, I can't even scroll. Okay. This might have been a rider crashing. I've noticed it does this where it'll, in the background, it will crash and go down to 0 CPU utilization. But the app itself, like the front end is still here. Like I can't scroll, well, I can manually scroll. I just can't mouse scroll. And I can click in places, just no buttons do anything. Yep, JetBrains Rider is using 0 CPU. End task. Alright. There's probably an update that I can get that'll help with that. I just don't have, like, the JetBrains application updater or whatever. Big on. This is true. I think our music app itself should care about the playback state. So let's have a playback state. Have a public getter for that. Playback state. Playback. Actually, I think I'll just have all the public getters up top because I think we'll only have about 10 or so. A lot of stuff here can be moved to being private. We can't make any of these public because this needs to be set via the automation tooling. But for things like these, do that. Current song index, and up here we'll have a public int current song. Then our song controller cares about a few things. Song controller is going to handle all of the buttons and states. We're not going to have individual scripts on every one of them because we don't really need them. So this will just do all of them. which means we need to change the color and the sprites for different state buttons, like the shuffle, the repeat, that changes state based on what the playback state is, which means that it needs to have a different icon for all of those. So we'll just have whoops, a serialized field for a private sprite. And if we are looking at the list here, have playback, we'll do normal. Did I call it normal or regular? I like normal better. We'll do that. Playback normal. Then we'll just grab that and replace all these. Is this 3 a.m.? Oh yeah, this is okay. This is one of my favorite Animal Crossing tracks because you never hear it. It only plays if you are playing the game at 3 a.m. your local time. And this song is basically just kind of teasing you for being up so late playing Animal Crossing. So the track just sounds really bouncy and weird. Wah, 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 wah. All right, so this will be playback state for the header. Late night vendor BMG. All right, so this will be playback button. There we go. So if we hit change, change repeat should be change playback. This of course will need a reference to the music app, so we'll have a serialized field private music app. And we want to switch state through that, so we'll switch music app dot playback. There we go. How do we want to set this? I guess I can just have a setter method, probably the safest one. Void set playback state. And for now, we can just raw set it. Don't need any customization for that. Now I need to change this throw, which doesn't exist in Udon, to a break preceded by a debug log error. Error. Playback type music app dot playback is not handled. This. All right. So if we are normal, we want to become repeat all. So we'll do music app dot set playback state repeat all. And we'll basically one step ahead these, where normal becomes all becomes one becomes shuffle, and shuffle becomes normal. We'll have a private void apply playback. which will do playback button dot image, yeah, image dot playback button dot image dot sprite will oh, we should probably switch state this here as well. The reason I'm not applying this right in here is because I want it to be right on start. So we're going to call this function as well during start. So let's do that. But instead of all of these, just do set null for now. And donk, 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 donk. Remove those. Paste in the state name. And then, after we switch that, we do apply playback. And during start, we just call apply playback. Let's see, song controller. You need to know about the music app. You need to grab you the right button. So this cares about the repeat button. There we go. Now we need to grab all the right sprites. So I'm currently using a library called Phosphor Icons. It seems fine. I wish they had a website exporter that was above 64 pixels. You can go up to 96, was it? Yeah, 96. But for something that's going to be on the wall of a VR chat world, you typically want at least 128, if not 256. I know they're not small sprites by any means, but you can atlas them together with Unity's Sprite Atlas, and that typically will handle any issues with that. But it's just, yeah, you just notice the fuzziness on the edges when you're in VR. If only we had a good canvas SVG renderer for VR chat. I would absolutely love that. If one exists, I don't know about it, or it's paid. Need more sprite libraries that cater to VR applications or that. Yeah. Honestly, I think the easiest one is just having like a Unity canvas vector renderer. There is oh, what's it called? Service vector. Is it? Is it not in Unity registry? Oh, it might be a pre-release package, so it's not showing up. But Unity has a Unity vector graphics package, but as far as I can tell, it's not supported by VR chat because it's quite new, and I've been told a little bit bad. But yeah, I don't actually know. I've seen things that people have put together for like shaders that work with SVGs. I've noticed that when it's complex shapes, like shapes inside of shapes, it tends to just fill the whole image and it breaks incorrectly. And yeah, it's a long-standing wish this was better. But, oh well. Anyway, let's quit moaning and get working. Repeat. So actually all of these buttons need to donk, donk, and repeat. I guess we can just call playback button. Lots of things in Unity like that, unfortunately. Yeah, It's one of the downsides of Unity trying to be the everything game engine. It technically can do everything. It's just a lot of those things tend to be a little bit fine at best. Like, that's how I feel about Unity's 2D implementation. Its 2D implementation is good. Hollow Knight and Silksong are both built with it. It's a good system. It just feels wrong when I'm doing it in Unity, because Unity's a 3D game engine and everything's in 3D and it's doing all these things to fake the fact that it's 2D, and I've never enjoyed it. If I ever make a 2D game, I would almost certainly do it in GameMaker. I like GameMaker. GameMaker Studio is a great application. Actually, I think it's just called the GameMaker again. But GameMaker Studio is a great application. I just wish I could use an external IDE with it, like Rider or something. But you have to do all the programming in engine. A lot of their tooling is fine. That's the one thing that I just kind of wish that I could use external tooling for. Right, playback. So we need to give this all the icons. So playback normal, playback repeat, all, repeat once, and shuffle. Now I did just put repeat into this slot twice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Affinity, the image editor, which I don't think I actually have supported on my display capture swapper. So I'm going to, hold on, let me get this set up here. Just do that. There we go. And I'm going to set this to be 50% transparent and export it. I need this to go in the other folder. Affinity, bonk. And this is repeat none. All right, we're done image editing. Repeat none, you will be a sprite. You will not have a physics shape. You will have generate bitmaps. Your bitmap filtering will be Kaiser. You are white, so we don't care about you being an sRGB texture. All right, repeat none. Bonk. Easy. So now, if I hit play, all right, so it's kind of faded now. If I go up and now it's not faded, now it has a 1, and now it's shuffle. There we go. That all works perfectly. That is cycling it on the app here, so we have playback normal. I guess it's just that value that's not being visually updated. Yeah, okay, if we look at the this playback integer down here, when I press it, it is correctly updating. It's just that enum field in the Udon Sharp one isn't correctly replicating. I'm actually going to go ahead and make this even lower opacity and export it. Next we're going to do essentially the same thing for play and pause, where it's going to have 2 different states. Playback. So playback state and play mode. Well, I guess it can just be like a... yeah, we'll do an enum. So, public enum play mode. It's like paused playing. Maybe playing paused? Is it paused by default? So this would be play mode, and play mode. Let's just call it mode. Play mode. I can pretty safely call that play mode. And similarly, I shall make one down here for a set play mode, mode, and play mode equals mode. Now we're gonna duplicate this over here and call this play mode. Play mode playing, play mode paused. The interesting thing about the play mode, so whether or not it's playing or pause, is it's kind of inverted from what you think it's going to be. If the song is currently playing, the button you have is prompting you to pause. So the paused state will probably have the play icon, and the playing state will probably have the pause icon. Which feels a little silly, but oh well. So change playback. We want a pose void change play mode. Just music app play mode. There we go. All right. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and give this the public API header, which basically declares this being as used, since this function is only ever called from a button. Unity doesn't actually know it gets used. So we're gonna use that on change play mode as well. Pause. We'll do music app.set play mode playing, and inversely we'll do paused. This could probably be easier with a bool, but it's a lot more explicit doing it this way. So I'm going to appreciate that. Void apply play mode. So here again, we'll switch the music app play mode. And I'll copy this throw down here. Music app.set play mode be playing. This one will be paused. Oh, wait, no, that's what we did up there. I don't want to do that. I want the play mode button. Dot image dot sprite to equal this will be play mode playing, no, paused, and then I'll invert it in the editor. All right, then apply play mode is done immediately after change play mode. Nope. And that'll be done up here. Play mode in the inspector will be right above it. So, all right, head back to Unity and basically set this up to make sure that it is doing the same thing. I'm actually curious. I'm going to duplicate this, and I want to know if a toggle has a built-in... so we can change it from color tint to sprite swap. This doesn't give you a sprite swap for the is on state. Okay, that's what I was curious about. It just enables or disables a component. So play pause, you're going to do set to play mode, which I think is what I called it. Oh no, it was change play mode. I guess, yeah, change I use for automatic transitions, set I use for passing a variable, which we cannot do for buttons. So play mode will go there. We'll put the play in the paused, and the... Oh, do I not have a pause one down? Oh, there it is, right at the top of the list. I'm blind. Paused in the playing one. Alright, let's click on Music app so we can watch its playback state here. Again, I think that didn't update visually, so we are going to click the fold out on the client sim helper for the public variables. So we have zeros down here. I go click this. There we go. Swaps between 0 and 1. Easy. Alright. Now, let's hook the next and previous up, because we already have functions here. But that's not going to really do anything until we have a playlist that we're playing. Let's think here. Until I set up a queuing system, that's not going to do anything. I think the first thing that we need to set up, since we don't have audio for the music that we're playing, is to in fact have a visualizer for how progressed into the song we are. So the first thing we should actually set up is this one here, the progress slider. So this would be label start time and label end time. And when I say start time, I actually mean label current time. Because we don't care what time the song starts at, it's 0. I'd say songs are on average 3 minutes, so I'll just put 3 in here. Let's go ahead and use, let's set this to be none, so we aren't accidentally running it around. Progress slider. This container will be progress readout. And let's head back to our script. So we're going to update this in, well, update. Let's just do that up top, actually. So we want to get the current play mode. All right, so which music app dot play mode. So if it's paused, we want to be setting the stuff to 0. Or no. We don't want to set it to 0. We want to set it to... Yeah, okay. So we'll keep the same time, but honestly, if it's paused, I don't think we need to update anything in that. At least not until we drop the slider from moving it around. Alright, so we'll have a header for progress state on a serialized field of a private slider. Slider progress. And let's do a text mesh pro-UGUI, and this will be label start. No, label current. And label total. Let's see, if the music app.current song equals -1, we will cancel that. We don't really care about doing anything in here if, well, nothing's being played. So let's go ahead and we need to get the length of whatever song is current. Let's have some getters for that. Public float current song length. Just return 0 there. If current song equals -1, then 0. Otherwise, we want to oh god, how do I want to do this? Because it's pretty easy to set up handling for audio clip length. I guess you can get the total length of a video you've loaded. Yeah, that should be fine. So we want to switch statement the song asset dot source type. Which I guess will be song type of current song. Honestly, I think I can just start dropping the defaults. So if it's URL, we want to get the length of the current one that's playing. So let's go URL source dot. Is there a get duration? Okay. In that case, I guess we can just return that. Otherwise, we want to grab the current audio clip that's playing. So if file source clip, yeah, there we go. Otherwise, we'll return 0. And we need a second getter for the current time. So public float current song time. Basically, we'll do this same thing here, except instead of get duration, we'll get time. And we'll just do file source dot time. Yeah, time in seconds. Okay. There we go. So we have current song time and current song length. We don't need to set current song length in updates because it'll only change whenever the song changes. But just to get stuff working, I'm going to put it here in the same spot. So we'll do label current dot text equals music app dot current song time to string invariant culture, yeah. And label total dot text equals music app dot current song length to string and invariant that culture as well. And the last thing we need to do is set the slider for the slider progress. Which, frankly, I think I should just stash the previous one, so float current time and total time. Oh man, y'all are lucky. I managed to mute for that sneeze. That was, oh, that hurt. All right, set value without notify on the slider. Actually, I don't want to do that yet. We need to make sure, since we haven't set anything with the total time, we need to make sure that the slider's progress maxes out at the total time. Slider progress dot max value equals total time. Thank you for sparing our ears again. Yep. And with that, we want to do current time divided by total time. All right, so that should give us a clear indication on whether or not stuff is actually playing once we get this set up. Nested type declarations are not currently supported in Uno Sharp. Where is that? Oh, okay. Source type just needs to not be inside of the song asset. Okay, that's fine. Okay. That seems to be all we need to do there. Alright, now we head back in. Progress slider, current time label, and total time label, which I will rename here. Label total time. Alright, if we hit play, what happens? Numpad 0, numpad 1. These look like values that aren't changing. Ah, there we go. This looks like it's constantly being reset to the beginning. Why is that? Oh! Because the slider doesn't care about the max value if I'm putting in a, that. Do I stop setting the max value, or do I stop using a division? I think this is just the most readable to have the max value be correct and not just change it to be between 0 and 1 for, frankly, not really much of a reason. All right. Since right now we're debugging for start calls play song 0, we're also going to do set play mode playing. Oh, one other thing that I noticed is we need to correct this. We don't want culture info invariant culture. We actually want the time signature one, which I think is MMSS. Let's see if that's right. It might be MSS. MM might force the first float value to be a 0. So it would be like, if the current time was 1 minute, it would be 0, 1. Well, it's not quite what I thought it would do. All right, let's head to Google and figure out what this exact formatting is. Unity. Let me move this tab around. I guess it would be C# string format type. TT. What is this? Custom date and time format strings. I don't care about day. I don't care about tenths of a second. I care about minutes and seconds. 0. Yeah, isn't that right? What's wrong with my formatting then? Am I not supposed to have the semicolon there? I'd prefer not to use a time span variable for this, but I guess I could if this doesn't work. I just thought for certain you could do this. Hmm. Am I missing something? All right. Let's see here. Wait, am I supposed to use just the letter T? T, short time pattern. But doesn't that give me like an AM PM on it? Ah, let's find out. I don't want the duration of a song to be displayed with an AM PM on it, but oop. Format specifier was invalid. Okay. Guess that wasn't right either. Am I not supposed to be doing float.toString and formatting it like that? Maybe I do have to do a time span for this. Current time span equals current time. How do I set this? Should be a time span from seconds. A time span would probably make more sense. Okay. I just really thought that there was a from float way of converting that. So presumably this T should work for this, right? String formatting is just one of those things that I'm just less familiar with because it's just kind of an arbitrary combination of letters, as far as I can tell. Like, I can understand that M is like minutes and S is seconds. I'm not entirely sure what T is. It seems to be for, quote, short time pattern. Wow, okay. So that seems to be technically correct. Just not in the correct that I like. All right, let's go ahead and try to do the other one. MSS. MSS. Yeah, maybe the issue was just that I was trying to format a float. Ooh. Input string invalid time. Invalid formatter. It's usually best to check the MSDN spec on time spec. Yeah, I'm currently on the learn.microsoft.com site for standard date and time format strings. Custom numeric format strings. Well, Oh well. String.format. And we'll do time span current. Does that know how to do that? Okay. Time span current minutes, followed by time span current seconds. This is definitely the not greatest way of doing this. But, oh well, it's the one that's going to work for now. / to do make this better. Okay, well there's that problem now. Where seconds don't look right until you get the... man, I feel like there's probably a much smarter way of doing this. Okay, we'll just do seconds. Okay, that should force on the correct second count. What was wrong with the MMSS format string? It errored. It just crashed the behavior when I did that. So I don't know what to tell you there. I could try it in just like a normal C# file and see if it was like an udon thing or not. It just didn't work. It just broke. Alright, well, this seems to be working for now. I can certainly come back to this and try it again another time. But, yeah. It just crashed the udon behavior to use that format string. So I just assumed I was doing something wrong. And maybe I was, but for another time. What we do know now is this is showing a song playing and progressing. So let's go ahead and have our play pause actually do something. So set play mode. If current song equals -1, return. Else we want to pause, which can probably just be a public function. Public void pause. No, set play mode is the pause function. So let's go and we want a switch on song type. Current song index. I guess I can just use current song index on the local one. URL, we'll do URL source.pause. And file source.pause. But this is, of course, only if it's pausing. How do we want to do that? Basically, we need a two-dimensional switch statement. I could just make a bunch of switch statements, but if he's already too stupid. Let's just have a second function here. So private void pause playback. Bool paused. If paused, else URL source dot play. Or resume? Play. Then inversely, do this down here for file source. Okay, there's actually two ways that I need to do that. If file source dot is paused, is playing. Okay, so that will be file source dot no unpause. There we go. Otherwise, we want to call play, because play starts from the beginning, but unpause doesn't do anything if the source wasn't playing to begin with. Let's see. Pause playback mode equals paused. You need to use... Oh. Huh. Escape control characters and whatnot. Yeah, okay. Hold on. I think I may have just fiddled something. Oh, right. The reason I did this was because I was trying to break out of this check here. Do private void pause URL and private void pause clip. Bool value and bool value. Value will be paused. Clip. So pause, we're going to be pausing it here. Else we'll do file source dot pause. Alright, so play mode does something now. And we can't do indexes yet, because we don't have a playlist. But this should work. Does this do anything? Wait, do I actually call this? That's progressing. I click this. Well, it's certainly paused. This should be playing. That's obviously not updating, except for the fact that it updates after I click this. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Alright, pause URL. We're doing pause clip. Oh, I put these backwards. Alright, so that's currently progressing. If I pause it. Alright, nothing's happening. If I resume it, it resumes. Perfect. And right now I can't drag this around because it's manually being set. But we will have click listeners for that later. Why not run apply play mode? And do. I guess that just happens after the song starts playing. So probably need some kind of listener for that. But we can now make the volume slider, actually. I think is the... Oh, right. Might as well just fix the formatting thing here. I'll leave this here because it works and just comment it out. In the event I totally destroy everything. Okay. M//:SS. So let's do time span current dot to string and M//:SS. Unrecognized escape sequence. Oh wait, I need to do 2 of them. That was it. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be doing exactly the same thing. Perfect. Yeah, I just went with the 1M because I don't feel like we need to force there to be a second 0. Or like a... It's going to be pretty rare that songs even get to 10 minutes long. So I think it'll be fine just doing this. Like, I mean, it should show the right number anyway when we get there. It just doesn't force there to be at least 2. Pause. Yep. Completely paused. Makes sense. Yeah. All right. Now we need to generate a playlist. Because wait, no. We're doing the volume slider. That's it. Something simpler. I actually don't know. How does Unity want us to handle a vertical slider? This isn't something I think I've particularly done before. It has options for bottom to top, Oh, it just puts it there. Neat. Okay. Well, that was simpler. Okay. Well, it's, easy. So real. Let's put that in there. Panel. Nope. It's this one. Min is one. Yeah, there we go. Jenna, welcome, welcome. How is it going? We are doing good. We're actually working on some controls for a music player right now. I know it looks a little bit hot garbage at the moment, but the functionality is coming along. I'm actually just putting out the volume slider here. Doing well. Nice, nice. Happy to hear it. Oh yeah, I mentioned it in the announcement for the stream, but this will be the last one for 2025. Because obviously I won't be streaming on Christmas itself, and I have other plans for New Year's Eve. So after this one, we'll be seeing everyone in 2026. Oh my god, it's going to be 2026. I started college a decade ago. Let's see, volume slider. A bit more width. 100 is good. And the slider itself can be less than that. 20, 20. Is it easy to toggle a game object through a button? Or is that one of those things that's just... Because this is a button, not a toggle. Maybe I could do it as a toggle. Let's find out. Let's go ahead, remove this button, add a toggle, turn off automatic. Set this panel's game object active. Set active. Now we hit play and see if that is stripped. It would probably be better for me to just do that in code anyway. Yeah, okay. So that does work. Oh, but clicking on it, because it's a child of the game object, propagates upwards to the toggle. That's funny. Yeah, okay. We'll just use code for that then. So, song controller. You will have some information for that. Let's see, volume slider. Slider volume and label volume. You'll also have a button for button volume, I guess. Then we need the oh, I just okay. This is an interesting design thing that I didn't think about. Since I have the volume button here pop out like a slider for your volume, it means that the volume button isn't a mute temporarily button. Maybe that's fine. Maybe we can just have it be a there is no bespoke temporary mute option. You just drag the slider down. Though we could also have a headphone icon at the bottom of this that is the mute icon. Options, and they're all design. All right. So in that case, let's go back to our code wherever I put it. There's. We're going to grab these for volume off, low, and high. I don't think I have a medium in the sprite library I was using. Again, I'm using phosphor icons, which has worked quite well for a lot of things. I've just noticed that a lot of volume libraries just have like, I guess off and none is different. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Pop in a medium there. As soon as Unity figures itself out. Alright, song controller. We want volume button, volume slider. I don't have a label for it yet, but easy enough. Let's add a text label. Label volume. Back to our controller, put the label into the slot, and the rest we need to grab our icons. So this will be off, low, medium, and high. Then we will go and I need to grab the okay, we need to be able to store a volume in here. Volume will be between 0 and 1. Though I think in our slider we want to visualize that as 0 to 100. So honestly, just go ahead, whole numbers, max value 100. Then that gets interpreted back in for that. So let's have a private float volume and a public float volume. Public void set volume. We'll have a float volume in here, and volume will equal volume. We can have other callbacks in here, which is why I'm having a lot of these instead of just having a setter up here in these. As you can see, they can get a little bit much. But we want a show volume. Okay. This will have a header for readout, a serialized field for private bool. There we go. Show volume. Show volume equals actually, is it like, oh, what is it? Is it carrots true? Is that it? No, that's not it. There's some hilarious shorthand for inverting the value of a bool, and I don't remember what it is. Let's see if there is a recommended. It doesn't seem to be. Oh well, this one is perfectly fine, and I like using it. But there's a, it's like carrot equals true or something like that. I think that's it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what carrot equals means, and at this point, I'm afraid to find out. So for showing volume, we need to toggle the game object for the volume slider panel. Game object panel panel volume slider. Set active show volume. This is also called via a thing, a UI element, so I'll just put public API on it to declare that it is in fact being used. Then we need to how do we want to do that? Okay, we'll have a public void apply volume, which will have public API on it for now, but we'll also run this in start. We will get to the float value volume from our slider volume dot value divided by slider volume dot max. I could just put 100 here, because I know that, but I think it'd be cleaner at the end to do it this way, in case something swaps out. Okay, now that we have this volume, we want to do music app.set volume and pass in volume. But after this is when we set the stuff. So if volume equals 0, do volume button volume dot image. Did I like completely invert my styling for that? Yeah, okay. Volume button volume slider volume panel volume label. Okay, I'll have to fix those references, but at least it's right. Volume button image dot sprite equals none off. Volume off, there we go. Else if volume is less than 0.33f, low Else, if it's less than 0.66f, do medium, and then finally an else where it is high. Is this more legible if I drop these? Let's find out. I'd say so. Yeah, especially since this is one line. Actually, sprite icon equals null. Then at the end here, do icon, and instead, just set that each time. All right. It is offering a switch statement. Ah, that switch statement is not set up in Udon, so I will not utilize that. Oh, wait, you can switch statement a less than value? Oh, okay, cool. Actually, before I get excited, let's make sure it's exposed. There's an easy possibility that that is simply not a thing that Udon knows how to compile, because it might just be a newer C# thing. Yep, that is a newer C# thing. Back to my if else. And of course, what's it called? Udon compiles switch statements down into if-else's anyways. Udon Sharp specifically, since a switch statement isn't actually real in the Udon compiler. Okay, this button is probably going to have the same issue as the other, as the toggle, where functions propagate up from it. So, well, propagate up from the interact on this panel, which is a child of it. So I'm going to have to give this yield layout element ignore layout. And there we go. Volume panel. I guess this can be called pop out. And this would be called a button. That probably makes a bit more sense. Yeah, and then instead of panel, this will be pop out. Last thing I need to do is grab the show volume from this, and apply volume will be from the other one. Show volume will be... This is a change, so... Change show volume will be that. And apply volume is here. We'll just call it up here. Apply volume. Apply volume is also being called from the slider itself, which is one of the reasons why I have it public currently. And the last thing that we need to do in order to get this working, the music app actually needs to be able to change the volume of things. I am curious because we have a video player, but we also have a AV Pro audio source component, and I'm curious if I'm meant to control the volume through that or just still on the audio source itself. So we'll have base VRC video, AV Pro, so oh my god, what is it called? URL source, URL audio. This is using a VRC AV Pro video speaker. Okay. URL speaker. Let's go find out if that's what I care about. It does not appear to have a wrapper for an audio source. Perfect. I'm using a separate audio source for playing an audio clip from it because I don't know if having a video player audio source like does weird overridey nonsense. So I'm simply going to just keep these separate. Fortunately, I can basically just copy this twice. Volume equals volume. Let's go to our music app, grab the source for that, URL audio, and we will hit play and see what happens. Let's go to file source. Right, I didn't key in any of the callbacks. Right. Change show volume, and the slider needs to do let's see, pop that in there. Set custom event, apply volume. Okay, so by default, I think this should disable itself. I mean, it should, but I think I'll just manually disable it for now. And then our song controller, we'll right into that. Now that we have a setting for it, we need to set volume to be 1. Which I think we can pretty safely just go ahead and give this the range field of 0 to 1. Alright, now it should start doing stuff. Alright, donk. Alright, so that is setting the volume on the music app itself. Let's double check to make sure it's being applied here. That looks like it is being applied to me. Perfect. Let's go ahead and actually write our label though, because that's the one thing that's not being updated. Volume label text equals I guess I can just grab it here. Float slider raw slider value. It's volume slider dot value. Just don't want to grab that twice. To string invariant. Actually, since I know this is going to be an int, I can just cast it. And I don't think, yeah, we don't need to do any culture variance handling for that. But there's probably an internal cost for converting it. So I'll just leave it like that. Whatever the culture invariance handling is being done on the C# side, so out of the Udon VM. So that's probably more performant than just casting a float to an int. I could be wrong, but I think Udon's handling for casting runs like the convert to, but I don't actually know how a lot of that stuff gets handled in the back end. Compilers are scary. I don't like them. I don't know what they do. Alright. This is responding correctly. And we can pause that. Play, pause, bonk. Yeah, next, I can go ahead and, what do I want to do next? Because the playlist, like the active playlist feature is probably the thing that, is the most integral to getting started. So I think a playlist is going to be a data list of integers. Which should be fun. Because then we can add and remove pretty easily. The only note is that if we want to have a preset playlist that we're testing with, we're going to have a int array that we convert into a data list during start. Oh, that's readout. I care about settings. Actually, no, that gets written. So settings, all right. Serialized field. We're gonna have a private. Oh god, what was I just doing? Int array for starting playlist, and let's just 1, 2, 3. And then we'll have a private data list of playlist. New data list. Let's see. For each start playlist index, I'll do playlist dot. Nope, I want playlist dot add index. So now current song gives us the raw song index inside of this array here, which is all the data that we've converted over to it. But we now want a playlist index as well. Playlist index. Okay, so in order to do something with that, we need to actually use this in playlist, play song, stop song. Yeah, because we need a like a play next song. Yeah, because play song plays the raw song from the actual backing data. If we want to have a playlist, like an album or literally a playlist, we need to have an index inside of that, which we're calling play song from. So let's have a public void play playlist, or I guess start playlist. And I'll have a data list for the playlist, and we'll do playlist equals playlist. Playlist in current playlist index equals 0. And I guess for now, play song playlist. Oh my god, I can't spell. Playlist dot 0 dot int. Probably should have a void play playlist song, and that takes an int index and basically does this. Playlist song 0. Let's add our next to previous, which for now isn't going to care about repeat or shuffling. Well, I guess shuffling is the only thing that it would care about. But public void play next. Public void play last. Current playlist index minus minus if current playlist index is less than 0. Current playlist index equals playlist dot count minus 1. Yeah, minus 1. Playlist song. Okay, play last. And we're going to do the inverse of this here. We'll do plus that. Oops. Plus. If index is greater than or equal to playlist dot count, index equals 0. Play song. Yep. Okay. Playlist. Oh my god, so many functions. Now our song controller has our previous track and next track. So this is going to call our music app dot play next and music app dot play preview play last. Now let's just pop in to make sure that nothing's borked because of this. But we're not really going to know that it's going correctly until we get the song and artist labels working down here. So that'll be the thing we do next here. Make sure all these still here. Yep. Okay. I didn't break anything with that. Play mode pause. Yep. Okay. Ba ba ba. Starting playlist 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Let's go ahead, hit play, and I guess we can watch these indexes here, and they'll tell us whether or not it's working. Okay. Again, we can't do it there, but we will do it here. Current playlist index. Oh, right, because the system is still debug play song at the beginning, not play playlist song. Actually, we just want to call start playlist. Playlist. Yeah, that's fine. All right, public variables. Current playlist index 0. Current song index 1. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's what I did. Oh, right. I never set these buttons up. Okay. Play next. Next track and previous track. All right. If we look back at this, public variables 1, 0. There should be 2, 1. Hey, there we go. All right. What broke here? Next was outside of bounds of the array. Song type, current song index. Do I not have 3 songs? Well, do I not have 4 songs? Oh, I only have 3 songs. Okay. Well, that would be why that broke. Fair, I guess. I am storing playlists, so I guess I might as well use one of these actual ones. Alright, instead of having a start playlist, we will instead just, actually, let's have a private int of starting playlist index. And we'll use that for loading up the first playlist. Because our playlists are actual assets that we're loading in. Well, that immediately broke. Index outside of bounds of the array. Starting playlist. Playlist song indices. Starting playlist is 0. How is that longer than that? Because if I go to this, playlist song indices no defined. Okay, yeah, because that's a system object. Because that's how jagged arrays work. Playlist song indices. This is getting written to, though, right? Playlist song indices. Okay, well, let's give this the old fancy editor of uh Odin Serialize. Grant me the visibility of my playlists. Give upon me the eyes to see the jagged array serialization. For now they are empty. But now they shall be not empty. As soon as this loads in. Playlist is empty. Albums have two. Is one of... Oh, I thought I made one of each. Gaming album, my playlist. My playlist is listed as an album. Oh, I just didn't finish making it. Okay. This is a playlist. There we go. Let's just put Third Sanctuary in it 3 times. That's my awesome playlist. Alright, we're playing again. If I click the... Look at this. Yep. Alright, we have one in each. This first one is 210, and the next one is 111. So that makes sense given the layout of the playlist I chose. Next. Alright, that's correctly cycling forward. And it correctly cycles backwards. Perfect. Next, I need to actually go and not use Third Sanctuary for all of them, because I am going to go ahead and get the label working for this. And this will be probably the last thing I do here today, given that we're hitting 6 o'clock here, and I want to be getting some supper after this. Current song length, let's do public string. Current song name? I just name, right? Not title? Yeah, that's it. Current song index equals -1. Return string dot empty. Otherwise, we shall return song name current song index. I like the visibility of the other one. Song. Current song name, current artist name. Previous track, play next. I guess I can just do that in update for now. I obviously don't want to do that in update all the time. Or maybe I can do that when I call these. Well, no, because we're gonna. I'll just do it in update for now, just for now. So that'll be for volume handling. Here, I'll do. Whatever. Just do it right at the front here. Song. Do I not have labels set for that? I don't yet. Song info. Serialize field a private text mesh pro UGY. Song name label. We'll have artist name label. We'll have a sprite for song icon. Not that we are setting that right now, but for now. Let's see. .text will equal music app dot. Oh my god, Ryder, why have you done this? Current song name. Ryder. Song. Yeah, Ryder is currently completely borked. I'm not even sure if what I'm doing is going to be writing into the file. It seems to be. I just want to get this done. Artist name label dot text equals music app dot current artist name. Should be right. Yeah, Ryder is currently using 0 CPU, so I'm impressed that any amount of it is still writing into the file. I guess just like the majority of the interaction side of it is just completely crashed. Artist icon. Oh, that needs to be an image. Image. All right. We want song name here, artist name here, artist icon there. And if I hit play, what happens? We shall find out. Well, it's working. The UI on it is a little bit bad. Let me force that to be something wider. Why aren't these expanding outwards? Huh, okay. Well, don't. Alright, that is putting in the right information. It just looks horrible and needs to be fixed. But, is correctly cycling through the right song information based on the playlist we are currently playing out of our cached song info that we have loaded from our scriptable objects that were representing the songs themselves, as well as the playlists and albums that is backing up our audio data. All right, the skeleton is here. The system works. Now it needs UI, and by UI I mean like the populated fields that show all of the songs by the artist, so you can search through, you can select your favorites on the left, and playlists and albums, and you know how it is. All right, I am calling it for today, and actually, I guess for 2025. Yippee! All right, I'm hoping to get this out at some point. Definitely not a rush project. This is honestly kind of a fun little side thing, but in the future, you should see this released at some point. Have a good Christmas. You as well, Lumilight. Always happy to have you here, dear. All right. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.